Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm welcoming all my new subscribers and viewers as well. So this video is going to be my take on the astrology for July 2024. And you know, we start off July right around the 3rd of July with Mercury in Leo opposite Pluto, which is in Aquarius. Now, when we look at it just on the surface, to have an opposition here with Mercury and Pluto really suggests that there's some powerful news that's going to be coming out our way. Maybe even some transformational type of information will be coming our way too. And if we look at maybe some individuals here, many times most astrologers will look at the sign of Leo as kind of representing kings, queens, monarchs, that kind of thing. And so I'm thinking that maybe around this 3rd of July, we could hear from maybe King Charles III. That may be some kind of announcement, very powerful transformational announcement that maybe he wants to give to his people. Alternatively, certainly, you know, the monarchy tends to a lot of times do these discussions behind the scenes, and rightfully so, before they make some announcements. But I think there's something in that realm here too. Now, there are other royal families too, so it's quite possible we will hear maybe from more than one royal family with regards to some powerful change or transformation within their group. We've got our first new moon that's in Cancer, so happy new year to all my Cancer folks. And a special happy birthday to my brother, John. So this new moon in Cancer is at 14 Cancer, 23 minutes. It is on the 5th of July, 2024. And let me just get the time here. The time is going to be 3:58 p.m. And of course, that's my time, Pacific Daylight Time. It's an interesting new moon. Generally speaking, I like this new moon. I have a Cancer ascendant, and this conjuncts my ascendant, so maybe this is going to be some new start for me too. And certainly if you do have something around that 14-15 degree of Cancer in your own personal chart, this could be a whole new beginning in a whole new year for you. Right, so we've got Venus in Cancer as well, and Venus will be sextiling Uranus. So this is some surprising, potentially at an individual level, surprising, unexpected love coming into your life. Now, a sextile is a relatively, in many ways, benign sort of aspect. It's giving you opportunities. Do you want to take this opportunity or not? It can also bring some, on a more global level, bring in some opportunities for change in the money markets that we have. And, you know, if you have something around this degree, and my charts are always on this video part of it, so you can see the degrees as well. But we're looking really at the latter part of Cancer here. You may have some opportunities to make some money. Simple as that, right? We also have Mars trining Saturn, which is retrograde. And, you know, trines are beautiful. It's just flowing, beautiful energy coming your way to do what? I would say to Mars represents energy, action, that type of thing. And Saturn can represent literally things, it's time. So it could literally be a trigger that happens that it's fortunate movement forward here to put new structures in place for yourself, right? It also can represent working easily with people who know the rules and regulations. So if you're in something like that, where you need to, maybe you're building your own home or putting your own business together and you want to have all the rules and regulations set up for yourself, this really provides that energy in a positive way to work with what rules and regulations are out there. It can also be literally, some people may be building, say, a home or something like that, or building new structures around themselves. But it is fortunate with regards to taking some kind of action regarding rules and regulations, and even working with, say, someone who's perhaps a supervisor, working well with the supervisor, working well with somebody who's maybe a little more advanced than you in terms of their knowledge base. We have that Venus is sextiling Mars. And so this sets up at an individual level just some lovely opportunities to interact. Now, this could be interacting at a level of friendships, or, both Venus and Mars together are the celestial lovers, opportunities to maybe meet potential new lovers in your life on an individual level. It's males and females I'm looking at as opportunities to work together too. We're going to have, and this is an ongoing transit, by the way, the Neptune sextiling Pluto. This isn't the only time. It carries on and off for a little while. But this is like working forces working together, at a high level. And it could be even different religious factions, right? Neptune many times can represent religion, so can Jupiter. And Pluto is powerful type energy, right? Transformational energy. Could it be that many leaders in all religions come together to help transform our society in a positive way? Maybe we're yet to see that, right? Now, this Mercury is now going to be at 5 degrees of Leo. And going back to the monarchy or, the royal family, especially in the UK, this actually conjuncts King Charles's ascendant, the Mercury part of it. So this kind of goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning where, hey, we could have Charles making some kind of announcement here of some sort. But again, it could also be other things as well. But because this conjuncts his ascendant, it's pretty important. The other thing that it does, though, is that Mercury, it also squares Charles's north node, as well as his moon in the 10th house. So this could be that he has some challenges with regards to his career for some reason, right? This moon and sun also aspect Prince William's north node. It conjuncts it. And that's in his 7th house. So this is where he would be doing things with the people. Maybe he's going to be given some new responsibilities here where his destiny changes for some reason or another. We're also going to have Jupiter at this time conjunct his natal Mercury. And so this also says he himself may be making some announcements of some sort with regards to the royal family. So Cancer as an influence and an energy really refers to anything to do with motherhood, mothers, childbearing of any sort, children itself. It can also refer to at a higher level or a more worldly level, is our homeland as well. So some of these areas of life may take on some kind of new beginning at this time too. And of course, in the USA, this is right around the 4th of July, which is, when we celebrate our independence. And I won't forget my Canadian compatriots who actually have their day of celebration of Canada Day, and that's going to be on the 1st of July. So this new moon kind of encompasses both those celebrations, but in particular the USA. On the 8th of July, we have that Mars now conjuncting Uranus. So this may be an upsetting day of some sort where there's unexpected movement, energy that comes out of the blue to take some kind of aggressive, I would say this is aggressive action of some sort on the 8th of July. We're talking about the sign of Taurus, of course. So this could play out too in a more worldly way in terms of like earthquakes and volcanoes, because Earth is very much represented here by Taurus, right? And with this conjunction of these two very powerful energies, it can represent something like that, an Earth-type event. On the 10th of July, we're going to have Venus sextiling Uranus. And certainly if you have anything around the degree point, and we also have Venus a couple days later trining Neptune. So this also could bring in on a personal level some opportunity to form a love relationship of some sort. It can also, though, bring in something with regards to monies, right, at a more global level. Opportunities to unexpectedly change those up. Maybe that cryptocurrency is really going to have a turnaround here and get some traction, right? Now, the Venus trining Neptune is, so both of these are working together in terms of favorable energies with regards to really high levels of love, too. And this could also play out, as I mentioned earlier, with regards to religious, various religious groups working together. It can represent females as well, too. And that female sextiling, that female planet Venus sextiling Uranus, followed by Venus trining Neptune, can just bring in some really powerful, inspirational energies from women. On the 13th of July, that Venus is going to be opposing Pluto. And so this I see as women confronting those in power. And we know there's a lot of things going on out there in politic land. And this could be some big march that happens where women get up and start saying, we're not putting up with this. You can't tell me what to do. You're supposed to be representing me, not your maybe religious fever. On the 19th of July, we have, this is an annular event. It just occurs in different degrees and obviously different signs, but we have the Sun sextiling Uranus. So these are opportunities here, unexpected opportunities really to, I think, bring things to light. That Sun is one of the most important things in a chart, and it represents its essence, right? And so I really feel that this is some kind of opportunity here, unexpected again, to shine some light on things related to, this would be related to anything to do with Cancer as well, right? Because the Sun is still in Cancer at this point. So, so these again go back to those Cancer-related motherhood, mothers, children, childbearing, that type of thing, right? Our homeland. Yeah, it's kind of like there's this request for change in these areas, right? So we're going to have the full moon in July in Capricorn. Now, this is the second full moon in Capricorn in a row. We had the first one in June, which is right around the beginning degrees of Capricorn, so it suggested a beginning. But this full moon in Capricorn is going to be at 29 degrees of Capricorn in 8 minutes, so there's 30 degrees in every sign. We know that this is right at the end of the sign. This is what's called an anaretic degree. It is a critical degree as well. And it tends to bring things up to a high intensity level, the 29 degree mark. And so I would say this is going to be an intense time, right? And this is going to be on the 21st of July. Let me get the time for you as well. Yeah. So the time is going to be at 3:16 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on the 21st of July here. We're going to have this moon conjunct Pluto, but Pluto is kind of out of that sign, right? Pluto is still at 0 degrees of Aquarius, but that's right up next to the end of Capricorn, which is where this moon is. So we know the moon is in one sign, and then the sun will always be in the opposite sign for a full moon. So we also know that the sun is opposite to Pluto. So I would say that this is going to be a pretty intense full moon is what it boils down to. And certainly if you've got, let's just say you're a Capricorn Ascendant or a Capricorn Sun and you were born towards the end, the Capricorn Suns in particular here I'm talking about, if you were born towards that end of Capricorn, this could be some kind of real big illumination for you that goes on. And with Pluto involved, it's transformation. So for some folks, maybe Capricorns that have been waiting for some big change to happen, this might be your time here on the 21st of July to transform your life. So yeah, it's culminations of the full moon, shining a big spotlight on something. And Capricorn, what is the Capricorn energy? Well, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. So we know that we've got a more older type energy surrounding this. And in particular, I'm thinking that there may be, literally at a global level, some structures in politics, in government that have to come tumbling down here. And this could be in many different places in the world where we've got a lot of conflicts, right? We do have that moon. It will be sextiling Neptune. That's a beautiful setup here. So the moon on a global level can represent people. And so this is people getting opportunities to have great inspiration. So maybe whatever tumbles down will provide some great inspiration for the people. We have Venus sextiling Jupiter, which is beautiful at this time. I mentioned that the moon will be sextiling Neptune, but of course then the sun is going to be trining Neptune. See, these is very positive, inspirational energies. Now, we're going to have Mercury at 26 degrees of Leo at this time, so it's still in Leo, but it's going to be squaring Uranus. Straight off, this is just upsetting news. And again, I kind of go back to potentially royalty of some sort, where something unexpected is announced from them. So maybe we won't have the announcements at the new moon in Cancer. Maybe these will all be discussions behind the scenes. And then at the square, there's some upsetting news that's delivered to us. But certainly, just generally speaking, this is unexpected news that provide challenges, right? And we're looking here at the 26 degree mark of Leo and the 26 degree mark of Taurus, of course. Yeah, and that Venus sextiling Jupiter is perfect. These are the two benefics, right? So this is providing opportunities for some folks to maybe make some money. Other folks, maybe you will have an opportunity, a lucky opportunity to meet the love of your life. We're going to have Mars, that's going to be in Gemini, trining Pluto in Aquarius. Now this is a nice energy too. Gemini is all about communications, right? Short journeys, that type of thing, writing. So I see this Mars in Gemini ushering in some important information that helps transform some aspect of the collective here. So we end July on the, well, we don't end July, but we end this last aspect on the 23rd of July, and that is going to be the Sun opposite Pluto. Very powerful time where I would say some confrontations are going to be happening here with regards to people in power, just generally speaking, right? All right, when we have a little bit of a peek at August, we're going to have a Mercury retrograde that will start at 4 degrees of Virgo. And actually, going back to King Charles here, it's going to be conjuncting King Charles's Saturn in the second house. So there may be another iteration of something coming out from the royal family. We're going to have a new moon in Leo, and I really like that new moon towards the beginning of the month of August. And then we're going to have a full moon, which is actually going to be at 27 degrees of Aquarius. And that's going to be providing a square with Uranus. So that's going to be some important information that's going to come our way. I'll talk more about it in my August video. So let's move on to the horoscopes for your either using your ascendant and or your sun. Both are important in the chart. You choose whatever resonates with you, right? So we're going to start off with you, Cancer, because Cancer, you've got your new moon this month in July, right? So this is in your 4th house. Now, you really do have to have something around the 14-degree mark of Cancer to have any real big effect. Otherwise, sometimes these things can just go by with no real event that happens for you. But certainly your 1st house is all about you. So this is some kind of new beginning with regards to any aspect of your life. Maybe some people will become mothers at this time. Some others may actually get pregnant. Still others may take this time to start a new business, for instance, right? And others, this may be an opportunity for a new love coming into your life, right? All these things, anything that you really want to nurture you or that you want to nurture is very much wrapped in with the sign of Cancer, right? And your 1st house is you. Anything about you, anything inside you. Could be too, some Cancers may decide that they want to change up their look. This would be a great time to do it too. Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, at that final degree, it's in your 7th house. And so this might be a wrap-up of some sort with regards to a business partnership. A marriage could wrap up at this time too. Clients as well. For some Cancers, they may decide they want to head in a different direction with regards to their clientele. That could certainly be up for you as well. It is at the anaretic degree, 29 degrees, so this is really indicating some kind of intense thing that may happen here. And of course, this is the second part of a story that started in June at that full moon that was at around 1 degree of Capricorn. So for those Cancers that have been waiting for, that final, the shoe dropping, that final end to something in their life, especially as it relates to 7th house matters, business partnerships, marriages, as well as clients, and any other, this is the final wrap-up. This is when you close the book, right? And it might be something as simple as some Cancers have been working hard at putting a business partnership together of substance, and this is the tying up the bow. This is signing off on that final piece of paperwork, right? Take care, Cancer. So Leo, that new moon, that, widely conjuncts Venus is going to be in your 12th house. And so, I'm just looking at my charts here that I have. Let's just see what degree point it is. Yeah, it doesn't quite, it's a wide conjunction. So Venus is at 22 of Cancer, and then the sun and moon as a new moon are at 14 degrees. But it's still in Cancer, right? And will still be in your 12th house. So there might be something going on behind the scenes. Perhaps something behind the scenes. Maybe some Leos are literally going to be giving birth at this time, because the 12th house can represent things like hospitals, for instance. But it is anything behind the scene. Others may be putting together some kind of compassionate project of some sort. Maybe some project that is to do with children, right? Still others may be having with the Venus, it could be some kind of relationship starts developing, but it's behind the scenes, or you can't quite come into the open about it. Maybe you've not made your announcement to this person that you would like to start a relationship with them. That could all happen here too. But this 12th house also says to me, because we've got Cancer here involved, Leo, I really get this feeling that you need to maybe have compassion for yourself and nurture yourself, to maybe take some rest, to nurture yourself, to look after yourself. I suspect there's been a lot of Leos out there really putting a lot of energy into things and not realizing that they really need to take it easy, right? So that is also what the 12th house represents, is the house of rest. Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, it is in your 6th house. And the 6th house can, literally, it can represent health here. It can represent your day-to-day job. And if you don't work, it's what do you do day-to-day, right? Habits, also small animals too. So there may be some illumination here with regards to your health. There may also be, because this is the second full moon, right? So it's the the final chapter in the story that started in June, there may be some Leos that have decided they want to change their day-to-day job. Or they've been working behind the scenes with supervisors, say, to get a new job of more responsibility in the present job they have, and they finally get the wrap-up here at this full moon on the 21st of July. For still others that maybe have been suffering from ill health of some sort, where you implemented maybe some kind of regimen in June or took advice from somebody in June that now is paying off in July for you, and your health is actually getting better. For others, it could also be, though, some big illumination is put on something to do with your health, and or anything to do with, say, nutritional type things. Also, mental health could come up here too. And again, just wrapping up this whole idea of Leos working too hard, this could be where, you are realizing that to take better care of yourself, you literally have to stop working so hard and put some energy into taking care of your body, right? Taking care of your mental health too, by getting some rest and much needed maybe vacation. Now, there's a good idea. Take care, Leo. So for Virgo, that new moon in Cancer trines you, and it operates with regards to the 5th house. So Virgos, this is beautiful. There may be, and because we've got also Venus involved here too, there's going to be maybe some Virgos that fall in love, or at least get the opportunity to fall in love with somebody who nurtures you, right? Cancer is all about nurturing, compassion, that type of thing. For others, hey, Virgo, if you are wanting to, say, start your own business, right around this new moon, maybe just a little bit after, could be perfect, especially if your business has anything to do with, say, the home, the family, that type of thing, or where you're nurturing people. This could be a great time to actually initiate a new business. It's also about creative projects. So there's going to be some lucky Virgos that get awarded maybe some creative project that brings in maybe more money for them as well, with the whole Venus in Cancer too, right? It may put females in particular a benefit for you. So Virgo, when we look at the full moon, that's going to be in Capricorn at 14 degrees of Cancer. That sextiles your sign and involves the 11th house. So right off the bat, this says to me that you could have the opportunity here to develop new friendships that actually nurture you and care for you, and maybe have a lot of compassion with regards to you as well. The 11th house can also represent groups, so there may be some Virgos that get an opportunity to join some new groups. I'm especially looking at favorable groups that have great compassion, that nurture. There may be some elements with regards to family type energies around this as well. Now, the 11th house can also be our hopes, dreams, and wishes. So, hey, there's going to be some Virgos that get opportunities to do that, to put some new initiative with regards to something to do with a wish or hope or dream that they've had for some time. So when we look at the full moon in Capricorn, Virgo, that trines your sign, so that's favorable energy, and it is involving your 5th house. And so the 5th house represents new love, true love. It represents children. It can be creative projects, games of chance. Our own business could be up here. So for some Virgos, you may be wrapping up something in this area, or at least seeing maybe the end of whatever energies you've been putting into things. Remember, this is the second part of a 2-part story, right, that started in June. So there may have been some Virgos who started up maybe a business or had ideas for a business, but it wasn't quite coming together. This full moon could see it all finally coming together, where all those energies that you put in, all those rules and regulations, all the maybe advisors that you got information from or good advice from that you took, Now you're seeing a wrap-up of some sort. It is a pretty powerful full moon, I feel, this Capricorn full moon. But hey, you've got the powerful, favorable energies of a trine here. And so, look forward to something very favorable happening with regards to fifth house matters. And I mean, this could be something as simple as some Virgos give birth at this time. It could be something like that. Or a pregnancy could be. Now, it is a full moon. So I would say more than likely this is more a wrap-up with regards to maybe giving birth type energies as well. Still, other Virgos may be finishing off this fabulous creative project they've been working on, say, since June time period, and you're now seeing the end of this beautiful creative project. Well, Virgo, you've got a Mercury retrograde that starts at 4 Virgo, then it retrogrades back into Leo next month in August. I'll talk more about that. But remember that Mercury rules your sign, right? So that's going to be an important Mercury retrograde for you in August. Talk more about that in my August video, Virgo. Take care. So Libra, the new moon in Cancer squares your sign and involves the 10th house. And when we look at the full moon, it is also a square, but it's to your 4th house. So in the month of July, you've got challenges with regards to both your home, family, mother, but as well as your career, your reputation, your social standing. And I always say squares are not necessarily negative. They just offer us some challenges that we have to overcome. Or it's just not all straightforward. You've got to involve other people to make things happen, right? Or other people influence decisions that you're making, right? It's not all up to you. And so when we look at the new moon, there's some kind of new start in your career that may be a little bumpy. Maybe you've taken on a new job or literally a new career. And you're seeing that, wow, you've got to shore up some aspects of your skills maybe. Maybe you just need to take some courses or something like that to understand better how to operate in this new career that you've got. It can also be with Cancer here. I'm thinking, you may actually have a necessity to be giving out a lot of nurturing, giving out a lot of compassion. And that may involve you maybe even working harder or maybe taking on someone's job because they're not well or something. And you're having to put out all these energies, and it's not so easy for you. Know that it will end, obviously, but with a square like that involving nurturing and good compassion, certainly don't be afraid to talk to your manager or supervisor about how maybe this is draining you and that you need assistance yourself, right? Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn squaring your 4th house, this now is saying that there's challenges at home. So what can it be? Well, it could be something as simple as maybe you're moving your mother or your father or both of them into a new home setting, right? Capricorn represents structures. It represents older things, rules and regulations as well. It's ruled by Saturn. So I would say that, yeah, there could be this, or you could literally be having to move, say, your mother in with your family. And so you're having to adjust as a family, but just as much as your mother or father or both moving into your home have to adjust too. And it's just that, adjustment is part of what this square is, right? I mean, there could be challenges with regards to having a problem with a mother, say, for instance. But always, try to think outside the box. Try to set up a win-win situations. Both sides hear what each other has to say. And always come with a solution. And so, this is what I have to say to you, Libra, in both your career as well as the home and family. Have a solution or two as well, not just complaints, and you'll be successful. Take care, Libra. So, Scorpio, that new moon is a fellow water sign, so we know that it trines you, and it involves the 9th house. So this could be a new start for some Scorpios to do advanced education. You get approved to start maybe your master's or Ph.D. at this time. For others, it may just be that you're having to have some kind of new start with regards to a foreign place or foreign people. Maybe you're going to go live overseas. It is Cancer, and like I've said about Cancer, Cancer can represent the homeland. So for some Scorpios, your homeland may have a new start here in a very positive way. And because we've got Venus in the mix here in Cancer too, it may mean that you might have some new money coming with it as well. Or a female may feature here in some way, either romantically or perhaps just facilitating the new start. And also the ninth house is travel. So, hey, there's going to be some lucky Scorpios that have the money to do some traveling here, right? And the travel may have another element. It may have an element of compassion or nurturing. And that compassion and nurturing, Scorpio, may be compassion and nurturing for yourself, where you've been working super hard and you need to take a wonderful holiday. And water may be involved with this as well. It's also meaning in life, at its highest. That ninth house is meaning in life. But it is also the law. And so there may be some new start here, a very positive new start if you're having anything to do with, say, legal things. When we look at that full moon at 29 degrees of Capricorn, it sextiles your sign, and it is in your third house. So the third house I always look at is just generally speaking communications. It's also writing, it's siblings, it is sort of short travels, like in your city or your state. It can also involve your neighbors too. So it's a big catch-all of a lot of things, but if you bring it right up, it's really communications and writing, in my mind, really feature here. So there's going to be some Scorpios that get some opportunities here to, I would say, write, literally. And it doesn't mean you have to write a book. Maybe you're going to be writing something with regards to something to do with educating maybe people at your work. It is a full moon, so it's a wrap-up. So it would be you completing, say, something in that area. It also could be some Scorpios maybe in their job have been traveling around a place as part of their job, and they're given their opportunity here to stop the travel and maybe do international travel where your new moon or the new moon falls in your ninth house, right? So that could be up too for some Scorpios. It can also have a wrap up with regards, maybe there's been some big thing in the family that you've been discussing with your siblings, and you finally wrap it up and say, okay, we've finally reached a conclusion here regarding the rules and regulations. Yeah, it could be something like that too. Or neighbors. Maybe you and your neighbors have been getting together to put together some neighborhood watch, for instance. And you finally get everything, the rules and regulations regarding that all set up and how you're going to communicate. There could be that type of thing too that turns up for some Scorpios as well. Very favorable for you, Scorpio. Take care. So Sagittarius, this new moon in Cancer falls in your 8th house. And so there's going to be some new start with regards to something to do with finances, probably more to do with, say, your investments, your 401ks, pensions, any money you receive from other people, or any money that you share with, say, your partner or your business partner or marriage partner. It's going to have some kind of new start here in July. For some Sagittarius, you may make that decision to start putting more money into your investments, your 401ks, that type of thing. And it's important for you to take care of yourself, right? Cancer is very much a sign of nurturing and compassion. And so maybe you're going to say, I need to take better care of myself with regards to my finances and my long-term future with regards to my finances. The 8th house is also a house of inheritance. I'm not saying you're going to have an inheritance, but with Venus there too, it adds a better element with regards to a potential inheritance that's coming in for some Sagittarians, right? The 8th house is also the house of sex, as well as our psychological selves. And so there may be some Sagittarians that take that step, that they want to get some nurturing here mentally and decide to go into some psychological therapy. If that's something you choose, Sagittarian, this would be a great time to start it. Maybe just after the full moon. You'll certainly connect in with someone who's compassionate and nurturing. That's what I would say you need right now, Sagittarius, right? If you choose that, of course. Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, it falls in your 2nd house. And so the 2nd house really has a lot to do with the money that you make. So there's some big change here that's up, right? This is the 29th degree. So you're going to have some kind of change with regards to the money that you make, the income that you have coming in. It could also be a time of austerity with regards to possessions. You just may make this decision that you want to get rid of a lot of stuff that you have that don't give you something. So there's a wrap up in that area too. You may also have to put new structures, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn's all about structures. It's also about rules and regulations. So there might be some kind of new rules and regulations that come in regarding how you structure the money. For other Sagittarians, you may just get serious. That's also very much a Capricorn type thing about making use of the money that you make, the income that you have coming in, and putting it to work for yourself. That you decide to have a little talk with yourself and not spend so much money, right? And instead put it in the 8th house of investments, 401ks, and money that you save. Yeah, so Sagittarius, it's a money month for you, whether it's shared resources, investments, or the money that you make. And still other Sagittarians may just decide to leave a job. And it may be that it's just, there's too many rules and regulations that you have to follow, or you have to work so hard, and you decide, I don't want to do that anymore. Take care, Sagittarius. So Capricorn, an interesting month for you, right? So you've got that new moon in Cancer, which will be in your opposite sign in the 7th house. And of course, that second full moon in Capricorn is in your sign. So there's some kind of second part to a story that started in June. For some Capricorns, you'd have to have the degree point. So the first full moon in June was around 1 degree, and then the second one is at 29 degrees, right? So it's like bookends, right? There's some kind of big conclusion. So it's like, the drum roll. That's what I'm getting here for that full moon. Let's start off with that new moon in Cancer, opposite of you in the 7th house. So this is a new start for, I would say, a partnership of some sort. So this new start could be a partnership in marriage. Could be a business partnership. It could be both. It can be clients. You take on some new clients here. And in particular, we're looking at the energies of nurturing and compassion, motherhood, mothers, that type of thing is going to be very positive for you, Capricorn, here. But it could just put a focus on your partnerships, say your marriage partnership, where something new is happening in their area that's affecting you as well. Now, it could also be that you've got to be more compassionate and nurturing to your partner for some reason, too. Yeah, it can just bring in a new partnership for you. That's what I'm thinking, right? That you see a new partnership coming your way, either business partnership or marriage partnership or both. Now, as I mentioned, that full moon is in your sign, Capricorn. And so I would say that there's this final energy that's culminating, and it may, I'll be honest with you, Capricorn, bring in a crisis of some sort. And, all the Capricorns I know are very capable of handling not only their crises, but many people around them crises. And if that is going to happen to some does happen to some Capricorns, know that it's the final, I'm done now. I'm done with dealing with that stuff. And this is a wrap up for you, where you see the light. You see the light and say, what have I been doing here? I need to stop this. And maybe some of it is working too hard. Capricorns definitely are, the hard workers of the zodiac, no question of it. And so this might be for some Capricorns a time where maybe something happened in June that woke you up a little bit and you said, I need to get a break here. And then finally we have July come by, and around this full moon, which is on the 21st of July, you've said, I've had enough. I need to stop working so hard. And you decide to take care of yourself instead, right? That new moon that I spoke about to begin with is a nurturing moon and compassionate moon. And I mean, I say it a lot of times in my videos, but I really get this feeling for Capricorns. You really need to take care of yourself, right? Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today nurturing me? Is what I'm doing today showing compassion for me, right? All right, take care of yourself, Capricorn, and look forward to that new moon. It's a good one for you. All right, Aquarius. So Aquarius, that new moon in Cancer falls in your 6th house. And so the 6th house is, your day-to-day job. If you do not work, it's what do I do day to day? It's also health, and it's also small animals. And so it might be a couple things. Cancer is all about nurturing and compassion. It's deep feeling. It's all about motherhood, mothers, the family. So there might be some new thing that happens with regards to your job, or you take on a new job that involves nurturing and compassion at this time, or families for some reason, right? It could also, just straight off with the energies of nurturing and compassion with Cancer, could be a new start here where you literally start taking better care of your body by maybe exercising, eating better, consulting maybe with some nutritionists to get a better diet in your life, right? But it's also mental health too. And so all these areas of life could come up for review for you, and you start some new initiatives in this area. But it could be that you just decide you're going to start a new job. Yeah, new job. Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, Aquarius, that falls in your 12th house. And so it's a full moon in Capricorn. It's the 2nd full moon in a row. We had the first one in June. So something was happening in June that comes for a final culmination, a final ending of some sort. And the 12th house rules a whole bunch of things, but it really refers to either behind the scenes activities or institutions like hospitals, prisons, government offices, ashrams, anything that's behind the scenes, right? And so there's going to be some wrap up here, some big illumination for you with regards to some area like this. But it could be some Aquarians have been working really hard behind the scene, maybe on some project of some sort. And you finally, wipe your brow and say, okay, it's the end. I've finally finished that final thing behind the scenes, and I can bring now this thing out into the open. Certainly, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and we're talking about structures here with regards to Saturn and Capricorn. So it could be that you've been working behind the scenes to literally restructure something, and you finally finish it off around the 21st of July. It would be a good time to clean up aspects of your life, whether it's something as simple as literally cleaning things in your life, or just maybe some stuff that's been holding you back as well from a psychological standpoint. It might be a time to look at that as well, right? What do I need to clean up? The 12th house is the final house, right, in the zodiac. Maybe a Marie Kondo is needed here. And you started maybe something like that in June, and you see all your efforts coming to fruition here. Yeah, I like that. Take care, Aquarius. So Pisces, that new moon is in a fellow water sign. It trines your sign. And we have it in your 5th house, right? And we know that Venus is also in Cancer at that new moon. So, hey, this could be for some Pisces, a new love comes in your life. Boom. New money comes in your life. So with that influence of Venus, Venus can be women, literally. It can be money. It can be love. And certainly the 5th house, one of the energies is new love and true love. So yeah, Pisces, if you're looking for new love, this is a great new moon to bring those types of energies in for yourself. Great time, actually, if you are doing something like that or trying to attract in, I would say a vision board, putting together how you want to feel with this love that you want in your life, that you want to bring in. And Venus also is an energy of attraction, right? Attracting in. So you could be attracting in these things. When we talked about it, right? Money, women may be fortunate, and love could come in. Now, the 5th house also does rule children. So there could be some favorable new starts with regards to your children. And maybe there'll be some Pisces that literally get pregnant at this time and or give birth. Starting a new business, maybe just after the new moon, would also be favorable, especially with Venus cozying up here with a wide conjunction with this new moon and sun. Creative projects. So there may be some Pisces that have a creative project awarded to them of benefit that has some money attached to it. When we look at that full moon, it forms a sextile with you, Pisces, and involves your 11th house. So at the new moon that I just spoke about, maybe you're setting up your business. And then at the full moon, around the 21st of July, you actually have opportunities to start making some money from your own business. 11th house can represent money you make from your own business. But it's also your hopes, dreams, and wishes. So there may be, you finally see something that happened maybe in June with regards to, say, a wish that you had, a dream that you had. You said, gee, I wish I had that. Boom, you see it. It's starting to come true for you. It's no longer just a wish. It's an actual reality, even though it's a full moon. Because it's a sextile, it's opportunities to potentially express or manifest some hope, dream, or wish. For others, it's going to be a potential opportunity to wrap up maybe some friendships of some sort that maybe have become too onerous for you, that maybe don't represent your values anymore, and maybe even the groups that you belong to. You take these opportunities to change the groups that you belong to. Maybe they're too restrictive. I'm thinking Capricorn can be restrictive. But Capricorn can also represent, as the ruling planet Saturn, can also say karma, and it's about time, right? So you may literally say that to you. It's about time I stop hanging around these friends that don't benefit me, and that I change up the groups that I belong to, that are restricting me, that are not allowing me to express myself. Well, you still have Neptune and Saturn in your sign too. Neptune providing great inspiration potentially. And Saturn literally providing the framework to have your hopes, dreams, and wishes come true. Saturn doesn't have to be a big hardship in your sign, It does ask you to pay attention for sure, and maybe take on new responsibilities, but it doesn't have to be bad for you, Pisces, right? It can bring structure in for you that's a benefit too. Take care, Pisces. So Aries, both the new moon and the full moon square you. They just square different houses. The new moon squares your 4th house, the full moon squares your 10th house. So we've got this dynamic happening between your career, the job that you're doing in your career, as well as your family, your home life, your mother, provides some challenges for you here. Yeah, I'm thinking with the new moon, there may be some Aries, for instance, that have just given birth or have a small baby at home. And you love that baby. You're enjoying being a mother or a father. But it's requiring some adjustment in your family, maybe other family members, maybe some literal adjustment in the home, where maybe you've got to expand the home somehow, or put safety measures into your home, and you're saying, oh my God, I forgot to do that. I got to do that too. So some Aries are going to be involved doing that. Okay, that's going to be the effect of the square, where you just have to work at something here to get it done. There's going to be other Aries that are having to put a lot of compassion and nurturing energy into maybe family members, maybe both your mother and your father, or maybe just one of them, where it's a little onerous for you. I would say think outside the box. Are there other family members, maybe not immediate family, other family members that can help you out? Maybe you've got to look after your mother and or your father, and it's requiring a lot of energy, a lot of your compassion and nurturing energy from you, and you're feeling a bit drained. I would say, as I said all the time about these squares, think outside that box, Aries, and see what services might be available to you that you've not yet discovered, and tap into them. When we look at that square with the full moon in Capricorn, it aspects your 10th house. And so this is bringing a big energy with regards to your career. There's going to be some Aries that say something happened at the first full moon in June, where this second full moon comes in, kapow. You say, I'm done with this career. I don't want to report to these people or this person anymore. It's not helping me. It's so restrictive that I can't express who I am. And you make this decision on the 21st or around the 21st of July at the square with this full moon to end a job, to even maybe end a career. Yeah. And you just have to figure out how you want to do it in a way that respects everybody, right? For others, Aries, it may just be a natural, a natural ending to a career. There's going to be some Aries that decide, I want to retire now. And this second full moon is the final chapter for you. You say, okay, I know how I'm going to do it, and I know when I'm going to do it. I'm done. And so that's okay, right? To retire, it requires a few efforts on your part to get it all set up, right? So it's all working for you. So there will certainly be people that have that happen. Now, because it is in Capricorn and Saturn rules Capricorn, I'm thinking still for other Aries, this could involve the company that you're in either changes the rules and regulations, or the company's structure is changing and you have to change with it. And maybe on first blush, it doesn't suit you, right? Always look for the win-win situation, right? And opportunities. Yeah. All right. Take care, Aries. So Taurus. Taurus, when we see that new moon in Cancer, that sextiles your sign, so that's favorable opportunities coming your way, right? And it involves your third house. So what could that turn out like? Well, it could be an opportunity for some Taurians in a writing project. It could have others having an opportunity to do some short distance travel. I'm thinking, say, as a traveling nurse or traveling doctor, that third house also represents sort of shorter distance travel. And so this could be some new opportunities that are favorable for you, that you want to do, that involve nurturing and compassion. Like I said, I'm thinking more of nursing doctor type roles here, or healing of some sort too, right? Maybe even something involved families and the mother, right? They're going to be favorable for you. Or you could even, like I said right at the beginning here, a writing project of some sort that encompasses some aspect of nurturing, compassion, motherhood, right? Or mothers. Mm-hmm. Now, when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, which is the second full moon, so there was something that occurred in June that has a final chapter here, very favorable for you, and it involves your 9th house. Now, the 9th house, as opposed to the 3rd house, is where you get published. It's more now long-distance travel. It's the law. It's also meaning in life, too. I'm thinking there's going to be some Taurians that publish. Yeah. You get an opportunity to publish here. Maybe something happened in June where you contacted different publishers, didn't hear from any of them, and they finally get back to you towards the end of July, say, and you can see this beautiful piece of writing being published. For others, it may be that you're coming back from a big trip. And this is you ending this trip that you've been on. The ninth house can rule travel for sure. There's also a potential wrap up here with regards to something with regards to foreign people and foreign things. And it's a trine, so it's favorable energy, right? So there may be some folks that maybe have been living in a foreign country and you're now returning back to your homeland. And that's your new start with the new moon at the beginning of July. That you take on maybe something new with regarding a project of some sort, a writing project. And you're, as a result of that, you can leave wherever you were living in a foreign place, working with foreign people. At others, it's going to be a wrap-up, say, in an advanced degree. Ninth house also rules that. And like I said, the law is featured here. So some Taurians will be wrapping up maybe a long drawn out legal case of some sort. And boom, you see the end of it, right? Now you still have Uranus in your sign, bringing creative change. Always roll with the punches, right, Taurus? Taurus, that Uranus in your sign, wants to remove anything that just is not going to serve you. And sometimes we trip ourselves up and don't realize something needs to be taken out of our lives in order for us to be freer, right? Yeah. So that's bringing you freedom as well. Remember that, right, Taurus? Take care of yourself, Taurus. Right. So Gemini. Gemini, when we look at that new moon in Cancer, it's in your second house. So right off the bat, we know that you're going to have some potential new opportunities in a job, making new money, especially if that money that you make is for some compassionate or nurturing type of situation. Also, Cancer, is very much motherhood. It is also the mother, it's the family type thing. So if there's anything in energies in that area, this could be a very favorable new start for you, Gemini, to make new money. And also, I'm getting this idea of you even potentially being able to maybe purchase some new possessions for yourself as well, especially ones that are going to make you feel better, right? Whatever that translates into. And the second house is also the house of values too. So you literally may be taking on some new values with regards to motherhood, the family, nurturing and compassion. You may also be saying, I need to take better care of myself here. I need to start nurturing me. Yeah, so some Geminis will have some of that type of energies happening around them too. Certainly if you're going to start a new job, Gemini, that new moon is going to be great for you. Now, the new moon is on the 5th of July. Typically, we like new starts just after that new moon. So if you are taking on a new job, maybe the 5th, 6th of July might be a good start date, right? Or the whole week during that time period. When we look at that full moon in Capricorn, Gemini, it falls in your 8th house. So as opposed to the second house of money that you earn, the 8th house really refers to more of your investments, your 401ks, money that you share with other people. It is also, your psychological selves. It's our sex life. It also can be inheritances. I'm not saying you're going to have that happen for you, an inheritance that is. But it does ask you to take care of, and it puts a big spotlight on, I would say, saving money as a biggest thing in my mind. That you may get some wrap up here with regards to maybe some investment that you've made, and maybe you're going to turn it over and put it into something else. It could also be for others that, you end some long-term psychological, maybe counseling that therapy that you've been undergoing that's have really been a benefit to you. And you already saw some of that in June. Maybe something as simple as your therapist was going to be leaving and you thought, well, maybe this is a good transition. You learned that in June. And then in July, around the 21st of July, you say, well, my therapist is going to be leaving anyway. I've gotten great benefit from therapy from this person. And I think I'm just going to wrap it up here and take my newly acquired skills and go out into the world. For still others, yeah, you could have something like a wrap-up of an inheritance. Capricorn does rule old things and structures, so it could be old money. And old money could represent an inheritance. Maybe you wrap up having an inheritance given to you. Maybe you've had to go through various channels to get the inheritance, given to you. It could also be the wrap-up of maybe finishing off a loan that you'd taken out, that you see the end of it. You make the last payment on the mortgage. That could also be up here at this full moon. It's a pretty big full moon, big culminations of some sort with regards to anything 8th house, right? I mean, it could also say some Geminis were applying for a loan. You could also finally hear at this point that news about the wrap-up of the loan, where maybe they say, yeah, we've looked at everything carefully. You provide us all the documentations, and here you go. It is a full moon. Emphasis is going to be more on you wrapping up maybe the ending of paying off a credit card or a mortgage. But it could bring in something like, those who have the strings, the purse strings, provide some benefit for you. Take care, Gemini. All right, everybody. So that is it for me. I'm wishing everybody a great summer. I'm in San Diego and we're just starting to get some real heat. But I know in other parts of the country, it's been boiling hot. So for those folks, I hope you get some relief. I always love doing your charts. All my contact information is below. You can always email me. I love hearing from everybody. So please feel free to leave your comments. You'll always have something, at least a heart sent back to you, right? Take care, everyone. Sending everybody lots of love and lots of happiness. Bye for now.